Daniel, welcome, brother. I am very, very excited to dive into this. I guess before we do dive into your story and your journey, always a good place is to start with a little introduction. So I don't know if you want to just introduce yourself to everybody and kind of just briefly talk about what it is that you do, who it is that you help, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, all the basic stuff. Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Dan and I run a company called Align Flow Ltd. We help chiropractors, specifically mainly in the UK right now, with a couple of US clients. Probably will go over to the US eventually. But absolutely loving working with chiropractors in the UK, to be honest. Very, very small niche though, like tiny, tiny niche. So like not many clinic owners at all. Um, been doing it for about 2 years full time. I started at school, like at sixth form, did like a little bit, set up a company when I was at school, which actually I look back at it and I was like, that was a stupid decision because if it hadn't gone well, I'd have still had to pay like 800 quid a year later just to get the company dissolved. But like I made no money, I just set up a company. But now it looks quite good on Company's House because it looks like we got an extra 6 months on what we should have actually had.
Good stuff.
Random story.
So I guess so you've been running the business for 2 years. I think I've known you for around that period of time. Obviously, I think the first place that we met was in Charlie's product, and then you were looking just to get like a little bit of additional help when it came to the sales side of things. So I kind of want to focus there. When I remember when we had our first conversation, and that you were I wouldn't say skeptical, but that you were in a state of fear about whether or not it was going to be the right thing to do to take a step forwards. But before we get into that piece, when it came to sales back then, what are some of the things that you were struggling with? Why do you think you were not closing at the rate that you wanted to be closing?
Mm, I think it was. I think it was the tracks. Was the biggest thing, and like objection handling, obviously being what you're absolutely incredible at. So it was objection handling, overall confidence, and I think as well, like just the people you're around, that being quite important. But at the time, like looking back at it, so I think I first met you because I was an Easy Grow. I joined June, so it was like June last year, so like a year and a well, year and 3 months ago, I think when we first met. Um, and yeah, I just didn't have a process at all, to be honest. Like no process at all. And especially with objection handling, I was just like an absolute mess, which was probably like the biggest thing. And like Easy Grow was really good, but Easy Grow sales stuff for me, it wasn't enough. And like you were the coach at the time in Easy Grow. And I was like, okay, yeah, I was trying to like piece together from the coaching calls in Easy Grow, like how your process worked,
I
which I
remember.
know like everyone who's ever in ICC has ever had that pain, and it was just really annoying. And I was missing so much stuff. I was just like, let's just pay with money, not time, because I was like writing, just dumb, writing it down.
So the objection handling piece was the core thing that was getting in the way. What were the core objections that were coming up on the course that you were taking? And why, I guess, do you feel like you were struggling to get past them?
Yeah, I think it was because the thing is at the time as well, I like had two niches. I had kitchen companies I was working with and chiropractors. So like with mainly I was doing a lot of kitchen company calls. Now we like I'm really focused, hyper focused on just chiropractors. But if I think back to like the kitchen companies, um, it was really just fear, a lot of fear, which like is one of the obviously one of the biggest ones, and money, and also just like presenting my product in the right way. Like a lot of feature selling rather than just like selling outcomes, that basic bridge that everyone knows now. That's definitely one of the bigger things as well that you've really helped me with. And just almost like the like all those little bits like the pulse checks, confidence loops, all those things that those micro little benefits that really then add to leading closer to the end of the call. That's the stuff that's really, really moved the needle a lot.
Okay, cool. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit. So at the point in time that you joined, because I think you've been in the product now for pretty much 12 months on the nose. Um, at the time when you jumped into the product, what was your monthly recurring? How much were you making on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so we'll do it in dollars because I can speak in dollars, even though I do make money in pounds mainly because because it helps my ego. No, it's just because everyone knows dollars, pounds is like alien currency to some of the world,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel better. Okay, all right, don't judge me. Everyone does it. All right, even Jack does it. So I I did 8K, maybe 7K the month before. And then the first month with you was my first 10K month, which was okay. And then now, 12 months later, this month in September, it's the last day of September now. I've got a sales call later, so we could bump it up. We're at 40K. So, dollars. To be honest though, I'm not happy with it. And I know that you're probably going to ask me.
I actually wanted to dive into this because I think that this is it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? Because when you start off in this space, you have this view of making 10K per month, and it's like, if I hit that, my whole life is going to change. And to a large extent, it does. Like your life really does change. But I think the biggest thing is beyond the lifestyle, going to nice restaurants, etc. It just opens your mind. And I can see you're in that stage now where it's like, yeah, I'm worth more than this. I'm better than this. The 100K has got to come to pass. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, because I know for some people, they would love to be in the position that you're in right now. But I know you have your eyes set on 100K, and I can understand why too. But do you want to speak about that a little bit?
It's people you're around. That is it. It's like literally the people you're around. And luckily, I've always just paid with money to get into good rooms. What your course being one of them, which and I got in early, and so it meant I just like made a really good foundational network, and I've just I've paid 50K in courses over the last 12 months. I've gone to masterminds. It's just like the people you're around. It's like I have friends who are younger than me because I'm 20. They're like 19, and they're doing like 200K a month.
Mm.
So, and I genuinely don't think it's a lot. Like you just have to. I just reverse engineer the numbers. It's like 10% of the UK chiropractic market. They pay us over 1,000 a month. It's just like numbers add up. Um, so it just doesn't seem like a lot. And I think it's just the people you're around and I don't know, it does. I was so set on 10K. I was so like, I was stuck at like, I had 10K as a goal for like way too long. Like it was ridiculous. And then like recently, like we've really started to push harder. Because also another big problem I had was appointment booking. So I had like got a really, really good sales foundation because of you. And then like recently we've just really cracked appointment booking. Um, and so then like when you mold them together, then it's just like, okay, yeah, now let's scale with a good product as well.
Because I was speaking to you the other day, and I think you were saying you're projecting to do like 100K in the next few months, which is insane to see that amount of growth in just over the space of a year, to go from under 10K to 100K, which is fantastic. Okay, cool. I guess in terms of the product, you have touched on this a little bit so far. I know that objection handling helped you out. In terms of the product, why do you feel like it gave you that extra edge on the calls when it came to objection handling or other aspects of high ticket sales?
I think the first thing is like everything you want to do is you want to break it down onto like first principles, and then you have that for those first two videos, and it's just like, okay, this is the first principles. This is how I view the sales call, and then it just made it like because of the people you're around. Again, it's all about the people you're around. The people you're around in the course. It just became like a hygiene standard. So like time to think about it is not allowed. Like it's unacceptable, and that's been something that I like naturally. You hear that and you're like, okay, this is bullshit. Let's actually find out what the real thing is. And the way you go about it as well is you really don't push. You're always pulling, which I found to be extremely beneficial, especially because I'm the one that's speaking to the clients, and we're not churning about. We work with people for years. And we have clients like we have a really really good retention rate. Like our churn rate's like 5% this year, which is like a very very low churn rate for the year. For in this industry. And so that's why it's extremely important to start the relationship. Like I have fun on my calls. I literally have fun because of the way you sell. I really enjoy doing it, which then makes it also that's probably part of it. And just feeling extremely confident. And also as like a side benefit, which is you probably haven't heard me tell you about this. I have a well, we they're called CSRs, they're chiropractic sales reps. They're people that call the leads. Me training them has been ridiculous. I haven't done one of these calls in 2 years. And I jump on the calls with them. I listen back to their calls. And I'm teaching them the same shit that I'm like. I don't know if maybe I shouldn't swear on this, but anyway, I'm doing it anyway. um, I just teach them the same stuff as what I do, what you've taught me, and they apply it so that I teach them how to sell something that's thousands of pounds, and they're selling something that's 50, and that's why it's helped our product massively, massive moat around our business, and they're just mind blown, and it gets them so bought into the culture. It's like, wow, I can learn from this guy. So
Mm,
it's a really like massive side benefit
yeah.
to it, and also like the network of this, like even like I'm looking for a setter right now. I have now had a chat with Frank. So Frank may be joining us. We're going to see. But I had a chat with him this morning. But yeah, it's just like that sort of stuff. And like you can just like put a post in, boom, boom, boom. And then it's just, you get connected with so many people.
I do agree with you massively on the whole investing to get access to rooms because I found that as well when it comes to going to masterminds, etc. Just constantly surrounding yourself with people who are holding that hygiene standard or outperforming you always makes you push harder. Okay, let's go all the way back to when we actually had the sales call because I think the call ended up being around like an hour and a half. You were pretty bought in, like you knew that I could help you, but at the same time, you were a little bit fearful. Where I'm going ultimately with all of this, Daniel, is let's say, for example, somebody hasn't booked in a call because sometimes people are fearful around even just booking in a call, or they have booked in a call and they're a little bit hesitant around taking that next step moving forwards. Could you kind of just walk through the emotions that you felt on that call and why you decided to take action despite them?
Do you remember the call? Because I do.
I do.
You do.
It was fantastic. Oh, I loved it. But it did turn into a little bit of a therapy session towards like the last like 10 minutes or so.
I was like, and this is not on you, this was on me. It's like I almost cried on that call because I was just like, it's and this is what you will learn to do when you come in. It's like the exact reason why. Is like it wasn't because Jack was like hard selling or anything. It's just like shit, I need to like do something now because I'm in an extremely painful spot. I just felt it's like so much pain. Um, and the thing is that you had artificially created that without me even realizing properly, just through like the questioning and being so strategic with what you're doing. Um, so that's like kind of like how I was feeling. And you learn how to do that and being confident with them maneuvering through a situation like that on a call. And now I can do that and feel comfortable doing that. And I've been able to learn that from you. But in terms of like, it's one of those basic things. It's just like, do you like? Is it? There's literally, if you're the right person, which if you're watching this, you probably are, because you're probably interested in growing. Like anyone can be the right person. You go into this and you like there's literally no downside. Like actually think about this. If you're in your 20s, 30s or 40s and you're going to be doing business for say even just 10 more years, do you think if you invest into this, you're going to be more poor in 10 years or not? It's just like it's a very basic thing. That's what I thought about because I literally just paid off Easy Grow. I still had like 8 months left of Easy Grow. You were a coach in Easy Grow at the time, so then that was also like a little bit of a value thing that we had to contend with. And I still bought it because like, do I think I'm going to make less money and have a less of an impact? Um, more, yeah, less, yes, less, less of an impact by buying this? No. Do you think I'm going to make the whatever the investment was back in? Yes, of course I am. It's like, what do the people do who are successful? They all buy. They pay with time, and they pay with money, not time. That's the main thing. And I'm extremely precious about my time now. Something like over the last 3 months, I'd say I've changed the most in the last 3 months. I would say that is one of the things that like my mindset shifted loads. Like the objection about YouTube, like oh my God, it's like because it's also like there's you can't go deep. You with sales, there's like a million ways to skin a cat, and you have to pick one. It's like I kind of think it's similar to most things in life. I actually have it as a quote up here. You can do so much in life, but you kind of have to pick one. So if you like the way that Jack does it, which personally I do, you can build a good relationship. You can well just set the relationship on a very good foundation. This is the one to go for me.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. I think the very last question that I have is there anything that we haven't touched on that you feel like we should have covered or should have explored in this conversation?
Um, I think for the people, because I imagine there's going to be people watching this that are in ICC right now as well. Um, anyone who is watching this that is in ICC, and there's people in the course, like I was doing with Attila, he's in the ICC right now. Me and him, like 3 months ago, I was doing like two role plays a day with him for like 2 hours a day. Because at the time that was my bottleneck. So if you're in ICC right now, you need to be jumping on. And like people who join in the future, like anyone watching, you need to be doing a shit ton of role plays. Like it's extremely important because that's where you get the reps in. Jack always says like you want to practice like in the training ground, not on your calls.
Okay, cool. Daniel, I don't have anything else to ask you, bro. Again, very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing you hit the 100K. Congratulations as well on absolutely smashing it this month.
And then just one more thing, actually, I want to add. I don't know if you cut this out, Jack, if you want me to. But if you want to chat to me, hit me up on Instagram. I need to start growing my Instagram a bit more. So it's Daniel Godden Parker. If you want to do that, you can. Happy to have a chat, and then I'll send you to Jack to learn how to do sales, and then I'll get a referral.
I love it, bro. That's the perfect assignment. I appreciate the time, man, and best of luck moving forward.